2 years ago, I was living in an apartment complex, so I had no clue that kids were not trick or treating that much. But last year, I had just moved into a house, and I thought, okay, if kids knock on my door, I should have some candy ready. So I had some candy ready, and I was waiting for a little bit. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and no one was knocking on my door saying, trick or treat. So I opened my door, and I thought no kids were coming to my house because I did not design my house. But then I started walking around my neighborhood and I noticed that no one was trick or treating. The houses were not even designed. So I thought maybe my community does not do it. But this year, I see plenty of people making videos about how kids nowadays do not trick or treat. And I thought, wait, it was not just me last year, it's nowadays a trend. A lot of the kids in the younger generation do not trick or treat. And you know what I noticed? I noticed that adults get more excited for Halloween than little kids nowadays. It's these adults that want Halloween horror nights, Scream. They want Halloween parties. They are the ones who want to dress up. Sure, they're not trick or treating, but they are getting into the Halloween spirit more than the kids. Now, I have no clue why this is. I've heard of different theories. One of the theories that I heard is that a lot of the parents that used to have kids, nowadays those kids are adults, and nowadays those parents, since they're empty nesters, they don't really want to get into the Halloween spirit. They don't want to put up Halloween designs. That's one reason. Another reason is because the millennials, they're not buying homes. They're buying mainly apartments or renting in apartments, getting townhomes, etc. And not too many kids trick or treat in apartment complexes. And then there's this other phenomena called trunk or treat, which is apparently killing off trick or treating. I don't know the exact reason why. All I can tell is the younger generation does not get as excited for Halloween than the newer generation. And everyone is blaming the younger kids. Everyone is telling the younger kids, come on, man, how come you're not getting as excited as we used to? But I think this is more so a parent problem than a kid problem, or the parents have to be the one that is setting up that culture. And nowadays, it just feels as though the uh, people are less trustworthy of each other. Or even back in the days, we had the whole thing of stranger danger. Whenever you're going to different neighborhoods, you have to be really careful about how you trick or treat. You don't ever want to go in someone's houses, etc. But still, there was that level of trust that we had that we were getting good candy. Where nowadays, a lot more people are not trusting of each other. But there was this one talk that I heard within the past couple of days that resonated with me the most. This person said the reason that Halloween is not much of a thing, especially with the younger generation, is because of TV, more specifically, cable TV. And he was making the case that when we had cable TV, we all watched similar content. And cable TV had this way of getting us in the spirit of things. For example, during Thanksgiving, a lot of these cable TV shows would play Thanksgiving content. They had the entire Thanksgiving lineup, and it was a part of tradition to watch this lineup. Same thing with Halloween, same thing with Christmas. But the fact that this centralized form of TV does not exist nowadays shows that we're all doing our own thing. We don't follow a set culture. And this guy was making the case that centralized TV, aka cable TV, is what got all of us different entities swinging on a similar pendulum. And that explanation made the most sense to me. I think that is one of the reasons why. It's because us as adults, we want to follow trends. I can't quite say that is the only reason why we don't get into the Halloween spirit, because I have noticed people in their 30s nowadays get into the Halloween spirit more than ever. I just came back from Los Angeles recently. I did the horror nights in Universal Studios, and there were adults that were dressed up in these intricate costumes, and you could tell that they were super excited to go trick or treating, at least go to the haunted houses. I feel as though if adults are going to go all out for you could say for Halloween, then we shouldn't make it so weird if they want to go trick or treating. I think that is a perfectly fine concept. I think it is okay for whoever is down to go trick or treating to go trick or treating. But I recall once I had my growth spurt around age 15 to 16, and I became this tall guy. Everyone was like, bro, this is your last year trick or treating. You can't do it anymore because you look like an adult. And I thought, why must I get shamed for trick or treating if I actually want to? So I think to bring this culture back, what we need to do is get the people who actually want to go trick or treating, whether they're adults or not, and just let them go trick or treating rather than shaming them and forcing the little kids to do it. When a lot of the little kids, they don't want to do it. They don't even have the right fundamentals. I saw this one kid this year coming to grab candy from the front of my house, and he just didn't have the fundamentals. I'm like, where's your pumpkin basket, bro? You're just grabbing candy one by one. You're supposed to grab a handful and just put it in that pumpkin basket. Bro, I got to teach you the fundamentals. So who knows, man? In the future, things can change. I am not too surprised if a lot of adults are going to go trick or treating again. That is all with my thoughts regarding trick or treating. I have noticed it dying with the younger generation, but with the older generation, it is stronger than ever.